Can you believe that 6 to 8 million animals a year end up in shelters and only half that amount get adopted? That is quite a few lonely dogs in search of a comfortable family home. Do you like dogs, or have you ever considered adopting a dog as part of your family? There are many agencies to choose from when adopting a dog. Many of the agencies even specialize in specific dog breeds. Before adopting a dog, one must take a critical self-inventory of their environment and the type of dog that they want to adopt. I have successfully raised many dogs over the course of my life. I have volunteered at dog shelters, and I plan on continuing to own dogs for the rest of my life. Today I'm going to discuss 3 points when it comes to adopting a dog. The first being adoption agency options, the second being selecting a furry friend, and the third being finalizing the adoption. First, allow me to explain the different options of where to adopt a dog from. The first type of place to adopt a dog would be an animal rescue. Jamaica Winship describes an animal rescue as a group of animal-loving volunteers that accept overflow animals from pounds and shelters, and they may also take surrenders from pet owners who can no longer care for their animals. Animal/dog rescues typically house these animals until they die, and they never euthanize them. The second type of adoption agency would be shelters or pounds. These are typically privately funded charities, and they also may be community funded as well. There are 2 different kinds of animal shelters. One would be a kill shelter, and the second would be a no-kill shelter. Many animals are killed in the kill shelters because they can no longer afford to care for them. Animal shelters provide many medical options with adoption. Typically, they will include shots, spay and neutering, and the microchipping process as well, all for around $100. Typically, the rescues cost a little more, around $300. There is another type of temporary housing called animal foster homes, where animals can be held until they either find a home to be in permanently or a rescue to go to. Now that we have covered the basic type of adoption agencies, let's move on to selecting a specific dog. There are many internet sites available if you do not want to go in person to a pound, shelter, or rescue. These sites include animalfinder.com, theshelterproject.com, petfinder.com, and adoptapet.com. These show local animals from local shelters and rescues that are available, but many you have to go see in person that are not listed on the websites. Many of these places ask for an application to be filled out before you go, and ask for your driver's license number, a lot of personal information, why you want to adopt a pet, the type of house you have, and even if you have a fence or not. Another thing to consider before selecting a furry friend would be the temperament and behavior of the animal. The staff are perfect to ask because they know the animals very well, and they can get a vibe from you as to what animal would be a good fit for you and possibly your home based on the information that you provide. Now that we have discussed selecting a furry friend, let's cover the finalization process of adopting a dog. First and foremost, revisit why you want to adopt a dog and make sure that it is what you want to do for sure. After you have done this, you should establish a pickup time when acquiring the dog. Many shelters and rescues are first come, first serve, and some dogs are more popular than others, such as small dogs, and they're more desired, so they'll have more people wanting to adopt them. After you have established a pickup time for the dog that you have selected, you will finalize the paperwork, and it's usually just 1 page front and back, nothing too complicated. You can also spend time with the dog before you finalize the paperwork to make sure it's a good fit in the spaces provided at the shelters. Finally, once you adopt the dog, you must allow it to adapt to its new environment when you take it home. Many dogs are not trained with commands, but some are. Many dogs have trouble eating and using the restroom upon arriving in their new home. They also need time to adapt to their new family. These are the basics of adopting a dog. In conclusion, today I have discussed and informed you where to look when inquiring about dog adoption, what to look for when selecting a dog from an adoption agency, and how to finalize the adoption of that dog. So again, to summarize, I have discussed adoption agency options, selecting a furry friend, and finalizing the adoption process. Early in this discussion, I stated that many dogs end up in shelters, around 3 million. Hopefully this speech has provided you the necessary information that you will need when considering adopting a dog. Many dogs are just looking for a fun family to hang out with and have a less rough life.